John Deere just shut down U.S. production, and Trump's response is stunning. The iconic green and yellow brand is shifting key U.S. production to Mexico, and Trump didn't waste a second. His message: if you move out, we're slapping a 200% tariff on everything you try to bring back in.
I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company. But as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States.
This isn't just about tractors. It's about power, politics, and survival in a world where factories run on resources, not loyalty. So, is John Deere betraying America or just adapting to reality? What happens next could shake up every company, every farmer, and even the next election. Let's dive into the full story. For over a century, John Deere has been a symbol of innovation, resilience, and the hardworking spirit of rural communities in America. From cornfields in Iowa to wheat fields in Kansas, the green machines were more than tools. They were part of the landscape that generations of farmers built their lives around them. But earlier this year, Deere made a decision that sparked outrage. Facing rising manufacturing costs, supply chain issues, and pressure to remain globally competitive, the company announced it would lay off hundreds of employees across the Midwest and begin expanding its production in Mexico.
John Deere to execute big layoffs in 2 states. And what do they plan on doing? Shifting those jobs to Mexico.
To the board, this was strategy. To workers and voters, it felt like betrayal.
We put in the hours, we make the product, and they are making billions of dollars on our back.
John Deere makes $6 billion a year. They threw peanut shells on the floor, and I was supposed to scoop them up.
They're not planning nor thinking about it, but already breaking ground. A state-of-the-art facility in Monterrey was greenlit, with production scheduled to start by 2026. The new Mexican facility focuses on producing mid-frame skid steer loaders and compact track loaders. These machines are essential to smaller farmers, the very market that's growing fastest worldwide. The executives of Deere argued that Mexico offered lower labor costs, tax-friendly trade policies, and direct access to booming agricultural markets across Latin America. In short, cheaper, faster, and more globally aligned. Meanwhile, competitors like Kubota and Mahindra were outpacing Deere with cheaper, faster production in Asia. To survive, Deere had to evolve, and that meant Mexico. The news hit hard. Soon, Trump dropped his bombshell. At a high-profile agricultural policy event in Smithton, Pennsylvania, just miles from key Deere supporters, Trump fired back live on stage.
I just noticed behind me John Deere tractors. I know a lot about John Deere. I love the company. But as you know, they've announced a few days ago that they're going to move a lot of their manufacturing business to Mexico.
He further added,
if you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States, so that if I win, John Deere is going to be paying a 200%.
The crowd roared. This wasn't just campaign rhetoric, it was a direct threat, a line in the sand against a company that has long held close ties to the farming communities of America. Wall Street felt the blow immediately. The stock for John Deere dropped in after-hours trading, wiping out gains from earlier that day. Traders scrambled and analysts speculated. Was this Trump posturing or the start of a real economic battle? And Trump didn't stop there. Speaking directly to farmers, he reignited his ongoing feud with China, referencing his 2017 to 2021 Phase 1 trade deal, where he claimed Chinese President Xi Jinping had promised to buy $50 billion in American agricultural goods. Probably my first call. I'm going to call President Xi, Trump said. I'm going to say, you have to honor the deal. You buy $50 billion worth of American farm products, and I guarantee you he will buy it. But that's not what happened during his last term. Chinese purchases never reached those promised levels, and many American farmers, especially in the Midwest, faced years of uncertainty and disruption due to those very tariffs. Now, Trump is painting John Deere as the latest traitor in his protectionist narrative. He accuses the company of abandoning American workers and promises that no foreign-built machine will enter the U.S. without paying dearly. Let's pause here, because this is where you come in. What do you think? Should John Deere be punished for shifting jobs to Mexico, or are they doing what any innovative business would do to survive? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. For now, let's go back, because what happens next could reshape manufacturing in the U.S. forever. The political backlash wasn't limited to campaign rallies. Republican senators from Texas, Nebraska, Indiana, and other red states issued harsh warnings to John Deere. The House Agriculture Committee proposed hearings. The White House began reviewing contracts to ensure no taxpayer dollars go to Deere imports. Behind the scenes, Deere lobbyists went into overdrive. Meetings were held with trade officials, congressional aides, and agricultural leaders. The message was clear: John Deere is not abandoning America.
John Deere says it's moving some of its production to Mexico, according to an email that was sent to Waterloo employees. The company says all production of cabs, welding, and assembly for current and future products will move down south.
According to company representatives, the Mexico expansion affects less than 5% of total production. The big-ticket items, tractors, harvesters, combines, are still made in Iowa, Illinois, and other U.S. plants. But that didn't stop the fury. Online Facebook groups exploded with debate. Farmers who relied on John Deere products found themselves torn between political loyalty and business reality. Primary radio hosts called it a slap in the face. Others argued it was simply smart business in a global economy. Deere held firm. Ironically, some analysts say that Trump's threats could backfire. A 200% tariff would affect all foreign manufacturers. That means the global competitors of Deere, like Mahindra in India, Kubota in Japan, and Yanmar, could face even bigger hits. Deere, despite shifting some operations abroad, still makes most of its equipment in the U.S. So who really suffers if tariffs go through? Possibly the American farmer. Whether it's made in Iowa or Mexico, farmers need reliable, affordable equipment, and most can't afford sudden price hikes caused by political drama. The executives of John Deere made one thing clear: automation, AI, and smart farming are the future. Their autonomous tractors already operate in U.S. fields. AI-driven crop systems manage irrigation and soil. Drones scout for pests, and none of those machines care where they were built. They only care how fast, efficient, and profitable they are. Trump, however, continues selling a promise to bring back jobs. But here's the brutal truth. Even if Deere reopened every U.S. factory tomorrow, most of those jobs wouldn't go to people, they'd go to robots. According to a report from Oxford Economics, 20 million manufacturing jobs worldwide could vanish by 2030 due to automation. That's not politics, that's math. So the real question becomes, can patriotism survive globalization? Or is that just wishful thinking in an age of algorithms and AI? John Deere just lit the fuse on a bigger debate, one that goes far beyond factories and fields. It's a showdown between nostalgia and innovation, between a populist vision of American labor and the cold, complex reality of a global economy. Raw materials take longer to ship domestically than internationally. Freight rates have doubled in some U.S. corridors. Ports are choked, supplies are stuck. Meanwhile, farmers in Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia are ordering faster and cheaper. To meet that demand, Deere has to be closer to buyers. They can't ship a tractor 4,000 miles and still keep it affordable. The threats by Trump may rally the base, but they also raise the stakes, because the machines are coming, and they're not interested in campaign speeches. What happens next? That's up to voters, CEOs, and maybe a few brave farmers willing to look ahead instead of looking back. Comment below. We want to hear what you think.